Imagine standing in a field with nearly 500,000 people, the air thick with a scent of freedom, the hum of anticipation, and the pulse of revolution in the form of music. Suddenly, one voice rises, cheeky, fearless, and unrelenting. It slices through the crowd and into the hearts of everyone present, a call to question, to reflect, and to resist. That voice belonged to Country Joe McDonald, the anti-war singer whose music became the anthem of a generation, whose words challenged authority, and whose guitar spoke truths the world often ignored. On March 7, 2026, that voice went silent at the age of 84, leaving behind a legacy that will echo forever. Joseph Allen McDonald, born on January 1, 1942, in Washington, D.C., grew up in a world undergoing seismic changes. From his early years in El Monte, California, he immersed himself in the sounds of folk, country, and blues, picking up the guitar and learning that music could be more than entertainment. It could be a weapon of conscience. By his teenage years, Joe was already questioning the world around him, turning his observations into chords and lyrics that would later define an era. In 1965, he co-founded the band Country Joe and the Fish, a group that would become synonymous with the counterculture movement. The San Francisco music scene was their playground, a place where experimentation was expected and messages of protest were as important as the music itself. Together with guitarist Barry, the Fish Melton, Joe transformed underground clubs and coffee houses into arenas of awareness, where every song carried a message of social responsibility and rebellion. McDonald's genius lay not only in his music, but in his fearless commentary. At a time when opposition to the Vietnam War could spark hostility, he created a song that cut through the complacency, I-Feel-Like-I'm-Fixin to Die rag. Written in a single hour in 1965, the song was biting, humorous, and unapologetically critical of the war. It didn't just entertain. It provoked, challenged, and demanded reflection. It became a rallying cry, sung by thousands who longed to voice the unspoken truths of a generation caught in conflict. The song reached its legendary status in 1969 at Woodstock, the cultural epicenter of a rebellious youth movement. On that fabled stage, Joe led the crowd through the infamous Fish Cheer, a chant that transformed the audience's collective energy into a roar of protest. With nearly 500,000 people singing along, his performance became more than a musical act. It became a symbol of resistance, a unifying force for the disenchanted and the hopeful alike. That moment cemented his place as a voice of conscience for the young and a thorn in the side of those who opposed change. Yet, the path of a rebel is never easy. McDonald's boldness brought him into conflict with television networks, conservative authorities, and even the law. He faced canceled appearances, public arrests, and the scrutiny of those who saw his humor and irreverence as dangerous. But Joe never wavered. He insisted that his music spoke for those who often had no voice, and he used every challenge as a stage to stand taller and speak louder. Despite the controversy, his commitment to activism never faltered. McDonald forged friendships with prominent activists and participated in historic moments that define the late 1960s and early 1970s. He became a witness to events that shaped national conversations, standing by his beliefs even when the world tried to silence him. Every word he sang, every chord he strummed, carried the weight of conviction and the courage of someone unafraid to challenge authority. After Woodstock, McDonald's influence continued to grow. When his band dissolved, he embarked on a solo career that spanned decades, producing over 30 albums. His music remained rooted in social consciousness, exploring themes from environmental preservation to civil rights and the struggles of veterans returning from war. He believed music was not only entertainment, but a call to reflection and action, and he never strayed from that principle. McDonald's life was full of contrasts. Though he famously opposed the Vietnam War, he had served in the U.S. Navy during his youth, experiencing firsthand the realities of military life he later critiqued. This experience gave his music authenticity and depth, making his words resonate even more with listeners who had known the battlefield's cost. In later years, He worked to unite communities, participating in initiatives such as the creation of a memorial for Vietnam veterans, turning divisions into opportunities for healing. Away from the stage, Joe's life was rich with love, family, and personal reflection. Married 4 times, he spent his final 43 years with his devoted wife, Kathy, building a life centered on love and family. A father to 5 children and a grandfather to 4 grandchildren, he balanced the life of a public figure with the intimacy of home, grounding himself in those who mattered most. On March 7, 2026, the world lost a legend. McDonald passed away in Berkeley, California, after battling Parkinson's disease, surrounded by the people he loved. While the voice that once led a generation in protest has fallen silent, his songs remain, immortalized in record, memory, and the hearts of those who continue to draw inspiration from his work. His legacy is not just in music, but in courage, activism, and the power of one voice to change the world. Tributes have poured in from every corner of the globe, a testament to the profound impact he had on music and society. Fans, fellow musicians, and activists remember him not just as a performer, but as a truth-teller, a provocateur, and a man unafraid to confront injustice with wit and melody. His music will continue to inspire those who fight, question, and dream, proving that the spirit of protest and the power of song can transcend generations. Country Joe McDonald may have left the stage of life, but his voice continues to echo across time. Each strum of a guitar, each clever lyric, and every rallying cry he left behind reminds the world that music is more than entertainment. It is a mirror to society, a weapon for change, and a call to conscience. And for anyone who hears his timeless anthem, the question remains as potent as ever. 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? The answer lives on in his music, in his courage, and in the generations inspired to carry his legacy forward.